The Ontario Superior Court of Justice reached out to Nunchuck, and I'm sure other places as well, to freeze users' accounts and prevent them from moving their assets out. Isn't that crazy? So Nunchuck, for any of you who aren't aware, I haven't used the service personally. It's a multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. So what they do is it's just a multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. They don't use any KYC or anything like that. And if that sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, KYC, just really quick, for anyone newer to the space here, would be know your customer. So kind of think like when you sign up for a regular traditional bank account, that sort of a deal. So that's the sort of information you would need to hand over to open up an account with someone. So in this case, Nunchuck does not do any of those things because they are non-custodial, not your keys, not your coins. You might have heard that saying before as well. So anyway, the Ontario Superior Court of Justice reached out to them and said, hey, you need to freeze everyone's accounts. This is starting to get serious, in case you guys haven't heard of what's going on in Canada lately. So I've got the response written up here from the Nunchuck team, and it's a doozy. So let me read that off to you guys here really quick. Hello, beautiful people. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you're having a great day today. Here it is. Let's see. Dear the Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuck is a self-custodial, collaborative, multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use. It allows people to eliminate single points of failures and store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys. Therefore, and they've got 3 bullet points, we cannot freeze our users' assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved. We do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, the Nunchuck team. So that's a golden response. This went semi-viral on Twitter, so I thought I would share it with you guys. I cracked up reading that, and there were a ton of comments around, oh my goodness, I'm dead, bro. This is so hilarious. That's fantastic. And then you had a handful of comments as well from people saying something like, yeah, that's a cute response, but I'm not sure that I would respond to the government in that way exactly. So, honestly, the way I look at it, this is just my take. I think it's fine. Sure, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. No, well, not a bit, right? Like the last little paragraph here, please look up how self-custody, excuse me, I'm spitting everywhere. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we'll be here to serve you too. That's a pretty good one. I would like to say that I would have written that, but I don't think I would have. Knowing me, I probably actually would have written that out. And then that last little paragraphy blurb, I probably been like, no, I can't send that part. I'm representing a company here. So it's very interesting. I've got quite a bit more here to throw to you guys. I don't know minutes-wise how long this is going to take up, but I think this is a really interesting conversation and why I wanted to make a video around this. So I was talking to some friends at the Super Bowl party, which was like a week ago now? Not quite, just about a week ago now. And they dabble in crypto, some of them, and a couple of them didn't at all yet. And they're smart guys. I went to high school with some of them, college with one of them, and half of them are engineers. Like they're hardworking, normal guys, but they're sharp. Like they're sharp guys. Like I said, half of them are engineers, and they've worked up very quickly, and they've been in their jobs for a good period of time at this point. So anyway, long story short, I just wanted to say, like, I wasn't talking to like some dude off the street who had never heard of what a laptop is or anything. So these are real normal people that I was talking to, and they had similar questions that I did, like pre-cryptocurrency plunge. And I'm certainly by no means all-knowing or anything of that. But I wanted to kind of share some of their hesitancies around it, which were the same things that I had and still kind of have as well, which is really the inevitable of when, what, where, how, if government, what do, right? Basically, like when the government finds out what is this, how do we regulate it, how can we stop it, what can we do to get our unnecessarily large piece of the pie, and when one of my buddies asked me that, he said, Zach, I think I would agree with you. And they're not nearly as biased as I am, right? I'm like, cryptocurrency is the future. And I'm not saying that it's going to be everything and everywhere, although it could be, right? Like, I mean, who knows, right? Your guess is as good as mine. But I wanted to share this conversation because I feel like it's not touched on enough in this community yet, just because everything's so new. But what one of them said, and he has not put money in yet, but he's lightly followed the space. He's aware of it. And he said, Zach, I would agree to the point of, I think it is the future. I don't know like to how much and to what degree exactly, but it's like, I do believe it is the future. He's like, but let's talk about Bitcoin just because it's the biggest and it was the first in this case, in this use case. He said, what is going to happen? He's like, because again, he's not all in the know with the news and everything with already how the United States is trying to kind of regulate everything. And his question was, when the United States figures out exactly what this is, he was like, or any country really, he had heard of China banning Bitcoin. He was aware of that. And he was like, what is going to happen when most of these governments decide, hey, you know what? Like, no, let's not do this. He's like, what's going to happen to everyone's bags and stonks then? He's like I don't know how that's going to play out. And I didn't have a good answer for that. And no one does. Everyone gets asked that question in the space. Like you'll see in any, I don't want to name a bunch of names, but any show or person ever, at some point during an interview, if they're advocating kind of like in a general sense, they're usually at one point or another asked, what's going to happen when the government wants to get their hands on all of this? And they'll give out, whatever response that they have for it. But the answer itself is, or the question itself is never really truly answered. In that, what's going to really happen? Like what will really go down? You think that no one is going to try to seize anything ever? Or do you think something will take place? How will that look? How long will that take? Will there be years? What kind of regulation is going to... There are a ton of unknowns right now. That is not to say that I am bearish toward cryptocurrency or anything in the slightest, but it's just there are so many unknowns right now, and there are a lot of potential barriers that, like those specific questions, that are kind of gatekeeping people from entering the space. I can tell you right now, my buddy, again, he's really sharp, but he's got a lot of unknowns. He's like, dude, I just feel like it's so totally speculative. And then I also gave them the answer of, I do agree to a point, like it's so brand new and anything can happen. I do agree with that. But at the same time, I was like, hey, friendo, I don't want to give his name out and stuff, but I was like, hey, friend, it's also safe to say that you haven't put in your 10,000 hours of research. And I'm not saying you need to put in 10,000 hours before you can put any money in crypto, but I'm just saying, hey, man, you just clearly haven't put in nearly enough time into the space. And maybe it won't change your mind, but I can about guarantee that you'll have at least a slightly different opinion around the subject, right? I want you guys to think back at the very beginning of the space when you were thinking about cryptocurrency. What does this look like? What is it exactly? It seems like a scam. It seems weird to me. Nothing's guaranteed and everything's guaranteed. And there's 500 million X returns. And how is this possible? And what's the technology? I don't understand how it works. And there's a new exploit every day. Like, I get it. I totally get it. And it was cool. We just had a really good conversation around that. Long story short, I just wanted to say, like, there's a lot happening right now in the world. This is exactly why cryptocurrency is amazing. This is why I believe it's going to change the world and is changing the world. And there's another little post here that I wanted to read out to you guys. So you guys may have heard of the bigger exchanges, centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken or Gemini, or just a plethora of other exchanges, centralized exchanges, and it is alarming the amount of faith and general sense of well-being that people have with having their money tied up in accounts like this. Here's exactly why. Some random Twitter user by the name of degdarrett.eth said, it's possible Kraken will be put in a position where told to freeze assets by police without judicial consent and will probably need to comply. And Jesse Powell responded to that. Jesse Powell is the CEO of Kraken, one of those centralized exchanges. He said 100% yes, it has / will happen, and 100% yes, we will be forced to comply. If you're worried about it, don't keep your funds with any centralized / regulated custodian. We cannot protect you. Get your coin / cash out and only trade peer-to-peer. I'm going to reread part of that. If you're worried about it, don't keep your funds with any centralized regulated custodian. We cannot protect you. That is coming from the CEO of Kraken, the CEO of one of the biggest centralized exchanges on the planet for cryptocurrency. You're hearing it from the source itself. He's a pretty cool dude. From what I've seen on Twitter and YouTube even. But Jesse is not wrong at all. And I wanted to share that to you guys because I feel like it's like talked about in the space, but it doesn't sink in with people because I know with some friends of mine who are in the cryptocurrency space, and I know, like, dude, what are you doing, man? You've got a ton of money sitting in your exchange. I was like, dude, that totally defeats the purpose of cryptocurrency, in my opinion. Wasn't this supposed to be about DeFi? Wasn't this supposed to be about having non-custodial access to your coins, to your money? It's very unique how complacent people get, myself included on that. So don't forget the importance of not your keys, not your coins. Yeah, I just wanted to, again, longer-ish video, I guess, around a simple topic, but it gets more complex, I guess, than where you look at it and the different angles that you choose to look at it as well. So I just wanted to say, guys, that's coming from the source itself. Like, personally, I don't have hardly any spare money sitting in exchanges except just a few bits here and there, so I can like easily convert to whatever if there's like a cool opportunity or whatever that I'd like to take advantage of. Yeah, don't forget that. Better to have it in my opinion, in something like a wallet like MetaMask, or even better yet, in my opinion, disclaimers, like a hardware device, something offline. So some food for thought there for you guys. If the government wants to, like Canada, and you might see it with the United States and or anywhere else in the world, like literally, they could say, hey, you know what? No more access for you. Get your coins out. Or you can't get your coins out. That is a very, very real possibility. And it defeats the point of cryptocurrency. So, not your keys, not your coins. I know it's said a lot, but again, it's a good way to get complacent about something if you just say something like in a monotonous way all the time. So I hope this brought some sort of value to you guys. I wanted to give you a little newsy piece here as well. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know. That would be great. I know it's taking a little bit of time for me to get some videos out on this. Been busy with the other channel, just a lot of other things going on too. But I'm hoping to be churning out some more content on this regularly, hopefully weekly or maybe even more. Just depends whenever we get some more information. And I want to talk about like liquidity, like the importance of that over something like that of like a market cap, for example. I know that's been more of a hot topic in the community lately. So I wanted to throw my 2 cents in the ring as well. And I've got some really cool conversation pieces, I feel like, that we could cover together. And there's some cool projects coming up too that I think could change the space. And I say think because I'm like 95% sure. So we'll go over that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. Thanks for watching this long. If you did make it this long, I don't know, hashtag Zack-o. Don't do that. Hashtag made it to the end. There we go. Hashtag made it to the end. That's way better. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe and watch another one of my videos. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. And don't forget to